I'm Duncan Ferguson and you're watching Toffee TV.
Welcome to Toffee TV as we look forward to the League Cup game against Barnsley with Matt Jones. What is it, Capital One now?
Capital One Cup.
You wouldn't even know it when it was called the Milk Cup. You're like that.
The earliest one I remember is the Coca-Cola Cup.
Coca-Cola Cup. It's had some names there, so I just say League Cup. Yeah. What I do know is we've never won it, and we probably never will. Let's get it right. So we're playing Barnsley away. It's a tricky tie. We know that because they put it on telly live, so they obviously think they're looking for a slip up here. So it's going to be an interesting one. Barnsley, 10th place in League One, won a couple, drew one, lost one. I think they got through the first round, beating Scunthorpe on penalties, 7-6. There you go. That's all I know about Barnsley, by the way. So we're going to move on from them. This is a trophy match that we have spoke about, that Everton really need to start taking seriously, and we really want to see them take them seriously, to the point that I think both of us would really like to see maybe 7, 8, maybe 9 first teamers from the game against Man City being in the team. Yeah,
definitely. At this early point in the season, I don't really think there's any need to rotate the team too much. I think last season that was one of the main negative points for me early in the season. I felt like we started rotating the core of the side a little bit too early, and even though we had the European games, it did disrupt us a lot. So yeah, I think we should go there with an attacking team. We should go there with the same core of players that have started most games this season, and get the game won early, and then you can bring players off, rotate the squad, try new things out, and that's when you take your foot off the gas. You don't go there like we did against Swansea last season with a complete change 11, and just surrender the game.
Well, obviously, I mean, this season we're obviously going in at the earliest stage because we're not into the European football. So, and as you mentioned there, we're only 3 games in. There's the Spurs game, and then there's a break. Well, a break for some people, with the internationals. So you would think we would just want to go there, get the game won, and then move on from it, because it is a trophy. As we say, you have to look at last season and how much he took the Europa League seriously, and I feel like this is a trophy that it's a far more realistic trophy that Everton can win, and it's also a far more realistic way of getting into Europe again. And if you factor those two things in, I think he has to take this game really seriously. And as you say, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, we're overdue some trophy success, aren't we? I mean,
and some.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's the like I said, it's the most realistic competition we can win. But the thing is, a lot of the top teams are starting to take it seriously now as well, because there's such an onus and so much pressure on the managers to get any kind of silverware at all. So I mean, I think last season you've seen Jose Mourinho for Chelsea pretty much played a full strength team all the way through. I know they've got a bigger squad than us, but if a manager like that's doing it with their players and he's playing pretty much 7, 8, 9 of the best team, we should be doing exactly the same, and it would just give everyone a lift, wouldn't it? And it's going in. It's been so long since we've been to one final in 20 years, and it'd just be great to get back to Wembley again and see us have a go at winning a cup.
Yeah, I just think as well, I think you can find yourself at the semi-finals without really it does feel like that. Some years you look at where we've gone out and you look at the team who beat us or another team and you think they got to the semi-finals by beating like 3 League One teams or a couple of Championship teams and a Premier League team that just really wasn't bothered. And you just think, if we can just put like 3 or 4 decent performances together, obviously you get to like the quarters or whatever, you might get a decent team, but they might have like a European game the week after, or a really important Premier League game that Saturday against one of the other rivals. If things can fall for you in this trophy, you can find yourself in the semi-finals before you know it. And I think once you get to that stage, that's where we could really come alive in this trophy.
Yeah, you look at Swansea. I mean, they got to the final and played Bradford, who were in League Two. So it is a strange competition, like you said. It's one of them as well, where if after we've lost at the weekend against City, you want to go out and bounce back with a win. And if you go there and say we scraped by 1-0 or we drew and went to extra time, and you'd be going to Tottenham then, and you'd be feeling a bit trepidation. Everyone would be on a downer. Whereas if we go there, win the game comfortably, suddenly you're looking ahead to that Tottenham game. You're not really thinking about the City match. You're thinking, we played well in midweek. got to be confident going there, and we can go and get a result, hopefully. So it's about getting that, especially early in the season as well. It's about getting that winning feeling back and getting used to winning games, regardless of the opposition.
Who would you maybe take out the side or bring into the side to maybe just freshen it up? Just if you are going to make 2 or 3 changes, maybe who would you be looking at? I'd
probably take Gareth Barry out. I think it's well documented last season. Yeah. He said himself he played too many games, so there's probably an ideal time to rest him. Maybe drop Ross Barkley back into a deeper position, put Tom Cleverley next to James McCarthy, and let them dictate the game from deep. We've obviously got a bit more threat going forward as well from those deeper positions. I'd like to see Delafeu get a game. I think he's
I think he needs one.
Yeah, he looked pretty rusty when he came on against City. He probably didn't know that he was standing on the touchline for 5 minutes beforehand, but. Yeah, I'd like to see him. Maybe Kevin Ross as well. But aside from that, I'd keep pretty much the same team. If we can wheel out any kind of left back, I think
I'd definitely play Oviedo.
Yeah.
I think even if he's like 70% fit, I think he could get away with it in this competition. And I think he needs a game under his belt. It's a perfect opportunity. I'd probably bring Bessage in for Barry.
Yeah.
I think I think Bessage needs games. He's had injury problems in the summer as well, so he definitely needs games. But you look around, you think of the back four, and you think. There's no obvious right back unless he plays Brown and right back. Centre backs, there aren't any other centre backs. So really, you can't really start messing about there. But I just look at it and think, Morales is on the bench. You've got the likes of Osman on the bench. I suppose they could come in without too much disruption. I mean, it's not like we're saying, bring Ryan Ledson in or anything like that. I just hope there's not too many wholesale changes, and we don't, we basically take this trophy seriously from day one and say this is what we want and this is what we're going for.
I think last year we did kind of surrender it a bit, didn't we? Because we were in so many competitions, the squad was quite thinly spread, and he went there to Swansea, and I think it was kind of a hopeful team selection, wasn't it? He brought loads of players who weren't fit, who'd not played together before. Whereas this year, if you look at it, realistically, we're not going to finish in the top 4 places in the Premier League. We're going to probably be battling, between 7th and 10th position again. I'd rather see us go all out for a cup competition, give it a real go. Yeah. Last season, when people were getting a bit excited about us winning the Europa League, even though the domestic form was awful, it did give everyone a little bit of a buzz when those matches came around, and it was something to look forward to. And I think our fan base at the moment, and it's quite divided, and the atmosphere is a little bit tetchy at Goodison Park. I think a good cup run and maybe a trip to Wembley would help unite everybody.
Would you be tempted to take Tim Howard out the side, maybe bring Joe Robles in? Because we've talked about in the past about that need for the competition for Tim Howard. We've seen we both win to endear by his performance against Manchester City. So maybe the fact that Joel could come in this game, because that's the only way he's really going to put any pressure on, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd like to see him come in, but in the same respect, if Howard's just going to play every week in the league, I'd rather see if it's a requisite that Howard's going to play every Premier League game, I'd just keep him in here, and hopefully he can kind of get through this bad spell of form. It's probably more than a spell now; it's been going on for a while. But just hopefully he can play out. But if Robles has got a chance of getting into the team, and if he plays well against Barnsley and Martinez thinks, I might bring him in, then yeah, by all means. But if there's no chance of him getting a go in the Premier League, then I don't really see the point, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. Yeah, I'm looking at something like a Naismith. As you say, you can change the team massively without changing it too much. But I think we're both of the general feeling that it's better to just let the first team be the first team.
Your core players, Jagielka, Stones, McCarthy, Barkley, Lukaku. I think they all have to start for me, definitely in this one. If you take any of them out and you bring players, you mentioned Bessage there. I'd happily see him get a game, but if you're playing him alongside someone like Osman in midfield,
that's where
both of them play much football recently.
Yeah, that's where it starts to break down.
They're going to be up for it. They're going to be snapping around at your heels. It could easily go wrong very quickly. So keep that core together and then rotate around.
Definitely. Tell us what you think in the comments below. Don't forget on Twitter as well. It is at Toffee TV1. Make sure you subscribe up there as well. Hopefully we beat Barnsley. Hopefully we go and win the League Cup. Please, we need to win something. 21 years, tick, 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 tick. Can't let anyone get away with that one. It's getting worse and worse. As you say, hopefully we get through it. We'll find out on the next show if we have, and we'll see you then.